I were to give all of you a good major rum punch now, that would change the color of this tour in 5 minutes. So, we're focusing here. So what on earth is this? This is a water purifying system. So it adds to our story. And this is how it adds. Okay? Let's just discuss what this is, how it's constructed, how it works. So at the bottom it's a marble container. And that's where the water ended up. So this stuff came out, this is hewn out of the ground. This is quite hollow. It would be filled with water. Because it's porous, the water would percolate down through this into the less hollow stone, where it would continue to percolate down into that marble container, and that's where your drinking water was. And what this teaches us is that Barbados is a coral island. So we are a coral island, and we are also flat as a pancake. And that's interesting. Why? Because 100 miles west of us, there is a volcanic ridge, underwater ridge, and all of the islands west of us are volcanic. They're mountainous. Lots of water cascading off the tops of mountains there, you could see. But no water visible on this island. So what did that mean? It meant that after a 3,000 mile sail across the Atlantic, you needed water. No water visible here. Shipping ignored Barbados, went 100 miles further and filled up their water supplies. 100 years after all that began, the British arrived in 1625, realized there was plenty of water here underground, sent a settlement back in 1627, settled the island, and they never left. They didn't leave until 1966. This is probably the only island in the region that never changed hands once. And as we discussed earlier, the British weren't going to let anyone touch it. Okay, so it is interesting that this all-important island was ignored for 100 years. But there were other advantages to Barbados. To start with, because we sit 100 miles east of the chain, that makes us the first stop. Sailing from West Africa to the West Indies, you run into Barbados first. So we're the first stop. Okay, now another advantage is that from the prevailing trade winds that blow across the Atlantic, they're known as the northeast trade winds. Have you heard of the northeast trades? The northeast trades blow from the east to the west. So that meant a sailing ship, you can just set your sail and you're on a straight line right across the Atlantic. Okay? Now, if you miss Barbados, what did you have to do? You had to turn around, and you are now sailing what? Into the wind. Very good, whoever said it. You're sailing east, into the wind. So that gave us a major advantage, defensively. Okay, so our east coast you couldn't land on. They defended these two coastlines with all their might, so nothing could really touch Barbados. The other advantage that Barbados had was something. Did I mention why the boys selected this house? Okay, good, he was sick and all that, but why did they come here to this spot? I didn't mention it, I didn't. And the reason was they liked the view in that direction. And the view 300 meters away, and there's no view today, by the way, the view was of Bridgetown Harbor. So there was a large natural harbor that could accommodate up to 400 ships right there. So all of that made this place the ideal hub. So the British settled, strengthened, and stayed until 1966. Never left. Never left, never let anyone touch it. Okay? And 120 years or so after all of this began, who landed in Barbados? With his sixth brother. George Washington. This island was one of the most sophisticated, impressive places in the British Empire at the time. And Washington absorbed it all. Okay? Good. The next stop is the kitchen, and it's hot. And it is hot, literally. So we're going to try and get out of there in about 7 minutes. And when we pack into the kitchen, that's going to make it even hotter. Some of you may want to just stand out here in between the two buildings. But we're going into the kitchen next. So let's go.